Ow. And we're both in black today because villain.
We're in our villain era. Period.
Well, hello, villains, and welcome to the Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay, I am just drinking some coffee because it is still technically morning for me by 30 minutes.
And hello, fellow villains. I am your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. I am not drinking anything. I just finished my water right before we started recording, so I don't have anything to drink. But I'm not that thirsty, so it's okay. But what I always have on hand, just in case I get thirsty, is my cup mug. Ooh, villain panel full of cup mugs. Villain panel full of cup mugs. Villain panel full of cup mugs. Mwahahaha. You can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at LanaGsCreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses unless your country is under fire, on fire, or underwater. Then we send our sincerest thoughts and prayers and hope that everybody in your family and others' families will be safe and we'll get through this with very few tragic moments and fatalities or anything like that. So our thoughts and our prayers go out to each and every one of you. Our thoughts and our prayers also go out to the family and fans of Liam Payne, who recently just lost his life. We from One Direction, we sympathize, we empathize, we are praying for all of you in this tragic loss. And yeah, that's it.
Well, it is episode 3 of House of Villains. And I thought things were going to go really, really right. And then I thought things were going to go really, really wrong. And this episode took me on a roller coaster.
Absolutely.
Like,
it started and I was like, oh, what is when I think I know what's going to happen, something else happens instead. And I'm
literally.
Wow.
Well, we are going to talk all about this episode. Before we do, though, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things competitive reality TV. And make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access. So, we were left off on the cliffhanger of Larissa going home, but then production was like, wait a minute. And someone else was coming through the door, and someone else sure did walk through the fucking door.
Or flew in through the wall, I guess.
Oh, flew in through the wall, whatever. It's Larsa.
Don't be so enthused, Logan. I mean, you sound so happy to see Larsa.
I'm not.
I
don't like her. I'm sorry. I don't like her. I
don't know her enough to like her or dislike her. I saw her on the Traders and I felt like she was fine on the Traders. She just talked too much. And I don't think that's a penalty for me to say I don't like her. I just felt like she talked too much. I don't know much about Larsa Pippen, even though I'm from Chicago and she was married to Scottie Pippen, who is iconic in Chicago, period. But now she was dating Michael Jordan's son, which I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I don't care about all that. I don't know her enough to like her or dislike her, but I will say about this episode, she is very much an entitled woman who I just not feeling in the moment, because she walks in the door and the first thing she does is demand that somebody just up and leave their room, because she refuses to sleep in a room with Jesse and Wes, but she doesn't want to sleep in a room with 2 men. So somebody got to move. And everybody was putting it on Candy. and was like, Candy, you need to move. And Candy was like, absolutely not. I'm not moving. Why would I move? Why would I do that when I've been here? I'm packed, I unpacked everything. Everything is where I want it to be. I'm not gonna sit here and pack nothing to move nowhere for nobody. And they were like, Candy, why can't you do it? And me and Logan pointed this out while we were watching it, and we both came to the conclusion that the only reason they wanted Candy to be the one to move is because
Mhm.
she's a drag queen.
Oh, it's
And
100%. It's 100% because she's a drag queen, and it.
want to look at Candy as Kevin and not
Yep.
Candy.
Yep.
And so they want to say, oh, well, you're fine because you're a man. You go move into the room with the other two men. And Candy is like, no, no, no. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. I, 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 mm, I didn't like it. I didn't like how they tried to make her feel like she had to move. Like she was the one to she had to do the chivalrous move to let this poor woman move in. So she just got here. She doesn't want to sleep in the room with two men, but you go ahead and do it because they don't want to say because you're one of them. She didn't want to say that, but that's what they were thinking. And I hated that. I hated
Mhm.
that for Candy. I hated that for them, and I hated it just watching it. It didn't make me feel. I was very uncomfortable. I was like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. And they can sit there and say that wasn't their intention, and it may not have been their intention, but that's how it came off to me.
That's definitely how it came off to me as well. I don't want to talk too much on it because I find Larsa to be entitled, spoiled, and utterly obnoxious in every possible way. So,
I
but
found that about
ultimately,
I found that
the
about
other
most of
person
the
I
women in
find,
this house. Yeah.
I was going to say, speaking of entitled, spoiled, and utterly obnoxious, Victoria, because she's such a pick me girl, as we learned throughout this entire episode, decides I'll switch with Larsa, meaning she's now in the room with Wes and Jesse. And of course, because they're obnoxious idiot men, they're gonna be like, "Well, you're gonna have to do all of our beds," and that annoyed the shit out of me.
That annoyed the out of me.
Genuinely, I think the only people that I left this episode not annoyed at are Candy, Rich, Camilla, and Teresa.
Teresa. Yeah.
Honestly,
Absolutely. I would agree with that.
everyone else, I'm like, you are obnoxious. Get off my TV.
I mean, I was slightly annoyed with Rich, so maybe I'll take him off my
A little
list.
annoyed with Rich for sure,
Candy,
but
Camilla, Teresa. They were all right.
if that's the final three, I'd be thrilled. Thrilled. But
Moving on.
ultimately, Candy calms down, and whether it's her calming down, I will say she ate Larsa up.
Ate
She
her
ate Larsa
up.
up.
Ate
She
her
ate
up.
Larsa up, and I loved every moment of it. But yeah, basically, once she, figures things out, does what she needs to do, she comes back in and apologizes to Larsa for the way she talked to Larsa. And I appreciate that from Candy. I don't think she
Mhm.
needed to do that. I appreciate her doing it for, the way she treated Larsa, not because of the situation.
Right. I was like, I
And
apologize for how I said things, but not for what I said
yes,
because I meant everything
exactly.
I said. But I didn't need to
Exactly.
come at you that way.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, and then we get Candy backstory, and I got really concerned for a second.
I mean, we're used to Survivor editing. We're used to, you know, once you hear
Mm-hmm.
the backstory, you're like, oh no, this person's gonna go. This is different
Yep.
editing. This isn't the same. And so,
Yep.
yeah, I was worried, but then I was like, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be like Survivor and how they edit their things and how they subtly let us know who might be
Mm-hmm.
going home next or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So we then basically go into the next day. Um we find out that they're going to a 70s themed party.
Ooh, 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 ooh. That was before. Well, we found out they're going to the party, but before that happened, we saw a figure in black sliding and slinking against the walls.
When it
And
first popped up, I genuinely thought it was Johnny Bananas.
oh no, I knew who it was instantly. I was like, "What is Joel doing?" I was like, "Joel, really?" But he's such a fool. But he's
Yeah.
slipping and dipping and dodging and everything, and then he places a top secret note in the refrigerator, and then slinks on out. And we see everybody waking up in the morning, going around searching, just going around doing their daily routine. And we see Victoria go into the refrigerator and sees the envelope that says top secret, and she stuffs it in her robe and she goes to the diary room and opens it. And this is where we see she pulls out a little miniature chicken, the little miniature cock a doodle doo. And this
Mm-hmm.
is the twist of the season, which is the knock blocker,
Yeah.
where she has the power for the next hit list ceremony to knock one of the people off the hit list and put somebody else on the hit list of her
Yep.
choosing. So she gets to block the supervillain of the week's one of their nominees and take them off and put somebody else on. So she finds it. She's very excited. Now I like the twist. I really like the twist. I just hate that she found it first, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh
like
no.
worst person possible to get the twist.
I was like, oh, good.
But like I love this twist. I think it's
I
super
love the
fun.
twist.
I love that it's just randomly
Hmm.
in the fridge.
It's going to be very interesting to see how they creatively put it somewhere each
Hmm.
week, or however many weeks they
Do
do
you
it when
think
they
it's
decide to do
I
it.
was going to say, do you think it's a one time or do you think it's going to be
I think it's gonna be
a
recurring, but I don't think
recurring?
it's gonna be
Okay.
every week. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be every week because that'll just
Yeah,
get old. But I think it's going
I
to
agree.
be like every so often it's just go pop up somewhere. And I I enjoy that. I love this.
Yeah.
I love the twist. I love the idea of the twist. I was like, good
Hmm.
job, House of Villains, coming up with a new twist this season. Word.
I love it.
Love it. But so she finds it, she has it. She knows she's safe this week, regardless of what happens. If she ends up on the block or not, she knows she's safe. So she's good. Everybody else has no idea this is happening. So they're getting ready for this 70s party that was announced.
Yeah.
Um, and they go to do the 70s party and come to find out that this is not just a regular old 70s party, but this is their battle royal challenge for the day, for the week. And we will find out who our supervillain is at the end of
Hmm.
this challenge. And so the challenge is basically you dance on the dance floor and then Joel will
Hmm.
call out a group, two groups of five, or somebody is always going to be left out of a particular group each time he calls out
Hmm.
certain groups. It's like musical chairs, so to speak. So
Yeah, sort of.
yeah,
So,
everybody's going to be left out at some point. And so it was going well. First person to get knocked out was Safari.
Safari. Good.
Safari was gone first. Jesse was right behind him. Um, Teresa gave up her spot for Tiffany, so she was out. And Victoria gave up her spot for Wes, so she was out. And then Tiffany and Wes were out. And this is where it got interesting because Tiffany, it was two groups of three. Tiffany and Wes were standing on one side, Candy, Richard, and Camilla was standing on the other side. Wes thinks he's working with Camilla.
Yep.
And so he was looking at her like, come on, come on over. But Camilla also has a relationship with Rich
Hmm.
and Candy. And so they were like, stay here, girl. Me and Logan was watching it and was like, Camilla,
Camilla.
if you move, girl, don't you move.
Camilla.
Camilla, don't move. I was like, if you move, girl. She didn't move.
Camila girl. She didn't move.
She didn't move. So I was like, yeah. Okay. So it came down to Camilla, Rich, and Candy. And so the last one was one group of one. And
So they
so
had to
that meant,
decide who the winner was
yeah,
going to be.
who was going to win? They ended up giving it, because Camilla wanted it, Rich wanted it, but they ended up giving it to Camilla. So she is the super villain of the week.
Yes, Camila.
Yes,
And I do
yes.
love that for her reward, she does end up taking Richard and Candy. I thought that was a really good thing because they were the last 3 in the group.
Absolutely. It makes sense.
They're going to Top Golf, which I think is the worst possible activity for a fabulous woman and 2 homosexuals. But hey,
I've never been to Top Golf, but I always wanted to go.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
My nephews both have been and gone. I think Nisha's gone. I don't know. I just never been, and so it's a place. I mean, it's literally right here in town. I could go anytime I need to go. Want to go. So that's my plan. I'm gonna go to Top Golf one day. When I go, I'll let y'all know how my experience is. If I like Top Golf or I don't. But yeah,
maybe I'll try to go to Top Golf by the end of this season.
I will try to do that. I will try to go to Top Golf before the season's over.
Yeah, because we've got one just outside of Tucson. It's like on the way out of Tucson on the freeway. So
it's literally 10 minutes from my house.
Or it's probably like 30 from mine.
Yeah, like 10 minutes from my house if I was driving something. But I'm going to do that. I will try to go to Top Golf in the next 3 weeks. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. But yeah, they go to Top Golf and they're talking their strategy. Rich is very honed in on like, let's talk about strategy. Camilla was trying to be like, let's just have a good day. Let's just be away from the house. Enjoy this. But Rich was not having it. Richard was not having it. He was like, we need to talk strategy. And here's why I got annoyed with Richard. This is where I got annoyed with Richard. Because who you talking to? Who are you talking to? Because Camilla is the supervillain. She is a capable woman who can make up her mind about what she wants to do. And Richard, you think because you won Survivor 20 plus years ago that you just know everything about all games and people should just bow down and listen to you. Honey, that is not how the world works. And I don't appreciate how you was talking to this woman. I don't appreciate how you were talking to this woman because you were like, look, my plan is the best plan. I know what to do. You just need to listen to me and you go be all right. And she like, what? And then he had the nerve to throw in, you shouldn't trust me either. I don't trust nobody. You don't need to trust me, but you just need to trust what I'm saying. I'm like, say what? You don't need to trust you don't need to trust me, but you need to trust what I'm saying? How does that even work? How does that even work?
I don't know.
It just annoyed me. It frustrated me. I was like, stop. Yeah. But they came up with this plan that they wanted to put up Safari, West.
You keep wanting to say Safari, and I'm living for it.
I do want to call him Safari all the time. Safari, West, and New York. That's who they wanted to. That's who Richard wanted.
Because we forgot to bring up the little squabble that ensued between Tiffany and Richard. Yeah, so they have a little bit of a squabble at the dance thing. I can say it on this channel. It's not monetized. Tiffany called him an entitled cunt. And love that. And then Richard is just like, are you an adult? Are we going to talk like we're adults? And I was like, ooh.
He kind of ate her up.
All right, Richard Hatch, eat her up.
I never
a sentence I thought I would say.
I never was like, oh, Tiffany New York Pollard is getting ate up.
By Richard
Hatch. But he kind of ate her up. He was like, because
Mm-hmm.
like she was gagged. She was gagged. I don't think she thought he was gonna come back and say something to her. I'm
No.
like, baby, you talking to an old gay. You talking to an old,
Right.
old feisty gay. You're not talking to no just regular gay. You talking to an old
Well, and
feisty gay.
he didn't put up with shit when he was on Survivor the first time. So
Period.
like,
That's all I'm saying.
also, tell me why low key Richard Hatch is kind of attractive.
To you,
Yes.
to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Jesse is too, to be fair, but
Jesse, I can see.
Wes also is. Objectively speaking, Wes
Wes,
is.
I
And
can
objectively
see.
speaking, Safari is attractive.
Safari, I can see.
But of these four men, which one is most like the kind of men I would go for? Richard
Richard.
Hatch.
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah, so then the next morning they're talking, and Tiffany comes down in what I will say is maybe the most confusing conversation I've ever seen on House of Villains. Because she's just like, she comes down fully expecting Rich to apologize to her for what exactly?
I don't even know what. This is Tiffany's MO for me. Watching this, I was like, is this what she just does? Is this what she's gonna
I
do?
think so.
Or she does things to self-sabotage herself to get voted out early. Because she did it last season with Bananas, with that whole I heard you say you wanted to vote me out when he never said that. And she
Yeah.
went in on him and went hard on him. And of course he was the supervillain to take you out. And you
Yep.
it's just weird. So I'm like, oh my God, is this a prequel to what's about to happen next? Is she gonna go off on Richard and then Richard's gonna win the supervillain next and take her out? Like, what is
And if that's
happening?
the case, if that is the case, and Tiffany goes out early again, I love Tiffany with every fiber of my being. I think she's one of the most iconic people to ever be on reality TV.
But this ain't the
House of
show for
Villains,
her.
don't bring her back for season 3. Do
Absolutely
not
not.
bring her like that. We don't. If she's gonna self-sabotage again, and we're literally gonna see 2 seasons of Tiffany doing the exact same shit, I don't need her again. I'm sorry. Like, there
Mm-hmm.
are so many other villains you can pull from so many shows that you haven't even pulled from before. And like, I was talking on Twitter because someone was like, oh, who should they bring on House of Villains? And someone was talking about America's Next Top Model, and I was like, bring Jade from America's Next Top
Absolutely.
Model onto
Oh,
House of Villains, please.
absolutely bring Jade.
Oh,
Absolutely bring
I think I
Jade.
said that when we did a Dreamcast at the end of season 1. I was like, or
Mm-hmm.
at some point during season 1, I was like, I would love to see Jade because I think Jade would do really well.
I think Jade would be amazing on House of Villains. I like her. You know who else from America's Next Top Model? The girl who
Ooh.
made all the lists, who made the list of house rules.
Yes. Oh, what the fuck was her name?
Oh,
Hold on,
Kamisha.
I'm gonna look it
What
up.
was her name? I think but I think she's a lawyer now, so I don't even think she is going to be doing shows like House of Villains, but she would be amazing. But yeah, I think she's an attorney now, a very big time civil rights attorney or something like that. So I don't think she would.
Veranda.
Ferranda, yes, I loved her.
I mean, love that for her being a civil rights
Yeah,
attorney. I love that,
I
but
think she's a civil rights attorney. She might not be a civil rights attorney, but I know she is an attorney for sure.
per.
But oh, I loved her. I think she would be so good. The
Come
girl
on,
came in with
Ferranda.
a whole list of rules and was like, and I expect you to follow it. I was like,
And I want her to bring a list of rules into fucking House of Villains.
and expect you to follow
And
it.
yep.
Loved her. Oh, I loved her so much. She was one of my favorite people on America's Next Top Model. But anyway, back to House of Villains. So yeah, her and Richard got into it, and he kind of ate her up on the dance floor. And he kind of ate her
Mm-hmm.
up at the breakfast table the next morning. It was
Yep.
like, okay, whatever. So they go out, and so that's when they come up with the list of Tiffany, Wes, Safari for the hit list. And then Camilla is like listening, taking in all the notes, taking in how she feels. And so they get back to the house, and everybody's like, "Oh, you went to Top Golf, great, blah blah blah." And Camilla's like, "Yeah." So they tell them they really going right into the hit list ceremony, so go get ready. Wes is a little nervous because he was like, "I hadn't talked to Camilla since the dance party, so I don't know, either I'm really really safe or I'm in trouble. I don't know which one it is, whatever." Everybody's just getting ready. Only person who's really like not worried about anything is Victoria, because she has the knock blocker in her pocket, so she knows she's not going anywhere, and she knows she's going to have to use it to shake up the game a little bit. Um, so we get to the ceremony. Really, it's nothing, not much
Yep.
else. They
No.
get to the ceremony. Camilla takes her seat and she's like, "I ain't wasting no time. Safari, get your ass up there." I was like,
Yep.
"Who?" So Safari's like, "Hold on. When I was supervillain, I didn't even consider you. But okay. All right." She's like, "I'm about to make 3 people mad, so it is what it is. I ain't worried about it." She
Right.
said, "Oh," she said, "Next, West, you get your ass up there too." And I was
Her.
like, work. Period. 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 So
And
I'm like,
then
I was like, she eat this up. Then she says, "My next person, Richard, you told me on our date that I shouldn't trust you, and I don't. So you can get your ass up there too."
Camila ate down with this one. Camila ate down with this one.
The jaggery. The jaggery. I was like, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait,
Here's the
hold
thing, though.
on.
Here's the thing. The gaggery, absolutely. Did this make for an iconic moment? Absolutely. Is this good for Camila's long-term game? I don't know.
I feel like she could bring a rapport with the women. Be like, "Look here,
I hope so.
ladies, we see what we got and what we can do, but we got an outlier in our hands." Her name is Victoria. We gotta get her out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, I was like, "Oh, okay." And
And then,
I think Richard a respect game. He was
yeah.
shocked, but he was like, "Oh, okay."
All right.
You know who was pissed? Wes.
Candy.
Wes. Well, Candy was like, "She didn't stick to the plan." But
Candy
I'm
was
like,
like, the fuck, the fuck, the fuck, the fuck, the fuck, the fuck, the fuck. And I was like, yeah, honestly, same. But
not,
yeah,
not.
Wes was pissed.
Wes is like, "You awaken a sleeping dog," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's true." But
But guess
then
what?
Victoria did what we all thought she would do. She saved Wes off the block because Wes made it look like he was saving her
And
last week.
in this moment, I said, God damn it. Victoria's gonna put up Candy, and Camila just fucked up everything. She has no alliance with Wes, and one of her other 2 allies is guaranteed to go home, because if one of Wes or Candy, or Richard Candy, wins the redemption challenge, the other one's
The
gonna
other
go home.
goes,
And I was
yeah.
like, God damn it. Worst case scenario. And Victoria goes to name her nominee.
And she said, "Hold on, you wanted a gag moment, Camila? Hold my beer. I'm putting up Jesse."
The fuck?
The what?
Huh? Hello?
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 She said, "I only think it's fair that there's still all 3 guys going against each other in the redemption challenge." And I said, "Victoria, did you just eat?"
Coupled with her, as they're getting ready, going, I'm so excited for everyone to discover Victoria's secret. Baby.
I said, "Okay. I can never give her 10s. I can never give her 10s because I just can't. but I will give her sevens.
I
She
will
kinda
give
ate.
her sevens. Absolutely.
I will give her
She
sevens.
ate.
She kinda ate this. You get your sevens with this one, girl, because I can never give you your tens. I can never do that, but I can give you your sevens. I was like, "Oh, so Richard, Jesse, and Safari are the people going into the
Yep.
redemption challenge on next week."
And it means that Candy's safe for another week.
We losing a dude. Period.
I'm fine with it.
Who run the world?
Girls. And
Period.
drag queens.
And drag queens. Absolutely.
Period.
I'm just like, oh my. But it was good. That was a
It was
roller
good.
coaster of a ride with
Yep.
this one. But I'm sad for next week. And we have the return of Bobby Lights, who's going to be hosting the challenge. So Bobby will be back in this whatever maze type challenge this is going to be.
Electroshock maze.
I'm just excited to see what is going on and what's going to happen. So,
yep.
We'll be back here next week to talk about all things House of Villains, episode 4. And follow us on this, subscribe to this channel, follow us on this channel. Go follow all of our links to all of our other channels. We are a part of our network. So join all the channels on our network. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss a single video drop. You can follow us on all of our audio podcast listening channels as well, and our Patreon to get early access and exclusive content across all 4 channels. And if you keep scrolling down in the description below, you'll see the link to LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com to get your merch. And yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Although Logan decided not to put up the merch this time around. Thank you. Period. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Bye. Stay villainous.